Fire eater. Fire light and fire warmth were both identified with labor, loss, and impermanence, three deadly killers of the human soul. The death of light in the absence of fuel translates directly to the mind in the death of hope. It was a lie which could have been first undone by simply looking into the sun, or gazing at the stars. The old water songs. Humanity's fire promise of freedom and survival became gross enslavement. Fire was more like a beast than magic now. Fire devoured food of its own. And when devoured, fire vanished with its quarry. Fire would require the whole world for its food, the very ones who tended the flame being consumed. Fire would soon devour everything if so allowed. It was only in this place of betrayals that the transparency of fire was thoroughly understood. Fire was a betrayer of humanity. Fire was the malicious and cunning one. New fire songs became fearful, telling of the fiery fate awaiting the world. Ultimately, all of nature would be drawn into the flame as its food. Fire would eat the world. Fire hissed in red, a dragon waiting to be fed. Fire suddenly became a hideous and malicious being of evil intent and song myths. Worse than the predators which roamed at night, those from which fire gave immunity. Fire was the ultimate predator, king of the man-eaters, and he had brought into the camp with honors. Now historically viewed and mythically pictured as a deceiver, fire became a fire bird, a fire-breathing dragon, a captivating power from which humanity could not escape. The sting of fire in the all-too-sensitive heart of humanity left a defined wound. An impression, a lie, a false reality. And then, fire taught the deadly lie which has singed minds and pursued technologies to this very moment. The single lesson which fire burned into the mind of humanity was one from which all laws of thermodynamics are directly drawn. Fire taught that its light, all light, would come at a price. Fire needs more than labor. Fire needs death. Fire devours the dead branch. Fire devours all branches. When the forest is eaten, fire would devour another. Fire became the eater of dead things, the devourer of once living things for the gift of its light. A simple exchange, a deal which humanity struck with its new master. Firelight came from the souls of trees, from the death of a watery green forest. Light came from the death of nature. Monstrous fire required a price, a life, before it would give its light. The equation was a simple one. Fire gives light, fuel gives fire, and death gives fuel. This equation of logic defines the permitted bounds of fire survival, a way from which humanity may not stray. In engineering terms, the equation sums the laws of thermodynamics. We are yet living in the boundary which fire had set for society. That boundary is a world model which has been rigidly consolidated for several centuries by countless academicians. The fire lesson so burned itself into the human psyche that it now becomes impossible for them to envision any other than the thermodynamic world model. Today, the hard social demand for machinery is predicated on the survival demand. More light, more heat, more cold, more motion, more food, more media. Fire taught humanity that fixed natural rules would limit their every escape from its dominion.